slide today. Okay, so sitting on the floor. So just rubbing those legs all the way down, all the way up. Rubbing all the way down, all the way up. And as we were just talking, look at those feet and check, are the middles of your feet parallel? So just stop down towards your ankles and put your fingers on your ankle there. And you can feel, or pull the toes towards you, and you can feel the two ligaments. One goes slightly on the right side, one slightly on the left. Now turn your feet so that you might feel that one of those ligaments is sticking up higher or is firmer than the other. So put those feet so that the center of that gap there to the center of your toes, so it's not your big toe, it'll be the third, between the second and third toe in, the second there, the middle there, and the middle of your ankle, make that parallel. Then feeling these ligaments, you should feel that they're a little bit more even. So if you if you turn the toes outwards, you'll feel that the outside one becomes tighter. If you turn the toes inwards, the inside one comes tighter. So it's finding that happy medium of those ligaments, getting those feet parallel. That's where your feet should be when they're on the floor. So just try to keep them there. Roll those fingers along the shin. And is the firm bit of the shin bone kind of up in the middle? Get your kneecaps. Is the kneecap, the middle of the kneecap, is that on the top of the leg? You can feel the middle of your thighs. Are they parallel? Run those hands all the way up, all the way down. Run those hands all the way up. Stop on those knees. Give those kneecaps a whirl. Rolling them around one way, then roll them around the other. Then use your thumbs and push those knees over. Get the fingers under the outside edge and just rub along there. And then run those hands all the way down to the feet. Let those knees lift up a little bit. Pull that tummy down onto those thighs. Put those hands around the base of the feet. Pull yourself forward. So your armpits over your knees. Push that head towards going over those toes. So we're lengthening the spine. And then in this position, feel those seat bones. I'm a bit more on my right side. So I'm going to rock onto the right side and lift the left up. And then rock on the left side and lift the right up. Rock right, rock left, rock right, rock left. Now I'm going to land in the middle and shimmy from side to side and feel even weight on each side. Okay, so I balance myself up. I push that left knee down to the floor a bit. Push that right knee down to the floor a bit. Push both knees down to the floor. Is my chin between my knees on the floor? You know, if I drew a plumb line down, is my nose between those feet? Is my breastbone in line? So pulling my hands on my feet or my ankles, lengthen that body and push into that tailbone. And then releasing the feet, bring yourself up to vertical. Roll those shoulders up to the ears, round and back. Roll those shoulders up to the ears, round and back. Roll those shoulders up to the ears. Put those hands about a foot behind you on the floor. Wiggle your elbows. Now again, rock from side to side. Shimmy that bum in the floor. Feel even weight on both seat bones. Push off both hands evenly. So we're looking at symmetry. Squeeze those upper arms together, pull those shoulders together, take that chin up. You can use your heels to pull yourself forwards so that you come onto that middle bottom. Let that chin go up, push that chest up, stretch the front of that body, and then bring that chin all the way down into the chest, pushing off those hands, bringing that chin down, stretching through that head, stretching through that neck, pulling those shoulder blades together. Now just walk those hands towards each other, pushing off them, lifting the chest, pulling that neck, pulling that head down. Turn that head to the left. Stretch through that right side. Stretch that right ear from that right shoulder. Really lengthen. Bring that chin down. Take that head round to the right. Pulling those shoulder blades together. Really pulling that left ear from that left shoulder. Lengthening. Swing that head through again. Pull that chin down into the chest. Eyes to the left side of that left leg, pulling that right ear away from the right shoulder. And then bringing those eyes down to the floor. Bring them over to the right, pull that left ear away from that left shoulder. Bring those eyes back to the middle, squeeze those shoulder blades together. And then bring the eyes up to horizontal, bring those hands forward, feel those seat bones. So my hands are not on my legs, they're just hovering. Feel those seat bones. Are you even? Look at your feet. Straighten them up. Wiggle, shimmy side to side. Pop the hands on the legs. Roll yourself all the way forward. Soften the knees and put those hands over your toes. Put the toes into the wrist. Put the fingers into the arch of your foot. Push those toes away and stretch through those armpits. So Sandra, this should be a bit of a lower back stretch as well. Pushing, stretching through the armpits. So push your lower back out backwards. Push that middle back. Push through that upper back. Push those toes away and stretch through those armpits. Push that right foot away. Let that right side stretch further. Push that lower back out. Release. Push that left foot away. Stretch through that, stretch through that armpit, stretch through that left lower back. Pushing the back out. And then release. Push through both feet. And really push backwards with your tailbone. Backwards with your waist. Stretch. Then release those hands. Let them come all the way up those legs. Lift yourself up nice and tall. Roll those shoulders up to the ears, round and back. Roll those shoulders up to the ears. Pull them back. Put the left hand on the right knee, right hand behind. And as we turn, lift the chest here. So I'm lifting that right chest up as I turn and look over that right shoulder. Really lifting up. Using this left hand to push off this leg. Turning through my ribs, turning through my waist. So it's not through the shoulders. I lift my chest up and then I come back round to the front. And I put my right hand on my left knee, left behind, and I lift my breastbone up, pushing off that right hand. And I turn and look over that left shoulder, lifting that breastbone up, breathing in, breathing out, pushing and turning. And then come back round to the front. Put those hands on those legs. Slide those hands all the way forward, just reaching to the ankle, making sure the feet are upright. Pushing through that back and then lift yourself up nice and tall. Bring those arms up in front of you, breathing in. And on the out breath, we're going to lower one vertebra at a time, going down to the count of 8. So pushing at the bottom here, pubic bone down first. For 7, for 6, for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. Rest that head down. Take those arms all the way over the head. Walk those hands to the right hand side of the mat. So take them right over, Sandra. This is another lower back. Lift, use your feet, lift your bum up and put it on the right side of the mat. So the hands are on the left and walk the feet to the left. So we've got a big stretch in that side. Cross that left leg over the right leg. Push that right hip down towards the floor so you've got the hips the same height off the ground. And then push that right hand away so I feel the stretch through my waist. Feel the stretch through my armpit. Now really reach with that right hand, really reach with that right foot. And you should feel the stretch going down into the upper, just above the hip in that lower back. And then release, come all the way back round to the center. Lift that bum up, lift that bum all the way over to the left side of the mat. Take hold of that left hand, put it to the right, walk those feet right, cross that right leg over the left, breathing in. On the out breath, push that right hand away from that right foot, stretching through that right hand side. Reaching, lengthening, and then release, bring that body back into the center. Push those fingers away above the head. Bring those shoulders down towards the waist. Pull the shoulders away from the ears. Let that back arch up. Now pull that back down a bit. Bring those arms up into the sky. Breathing in. On the out breath, chin into this chest and slowly roll up for 8, 7, 6, 5. All the way forward. 3, 2, 1. All the way down to those feet, reaching, lengthening. And then sitting up nice and tall. And we're going back down to the floor for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Leave your arms by your side. Roll those shoulders into the floor. Bend that right knee up. Rest the foot on the floor. Bend the left knee up. Rest the foot on the floor. Bring that left knee into the chest. Bring that right knee into the chest. Let those, put your hands underneath the back of your knees and pull those legs up. So we're just curling through that lower back, bringing those legs over our head, letting that lower back stretch. Using the floor to keep the upper back straight. And then lower that lower back down onto the floor. And then let those knees bend. Draw the core in, don't let the lower back arch. Take those feet back to the floor. Let them go out straight. Take those hands out straight above the head, breathing in. Pull the shoulders away from the ears, breathing out. Hands up to the sky. Chin into the chest and slowly up for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reaching all the way down to those feet. Reaching all the way down. Pulling their armpits down towards those knees. Push those heels away. Bring yourself up to sitting. Lift yourself up nice and tall. Push those seat bones. Hold yourself here. Push those seat bones. Push that right seat bone in the floor. Push that left seat bone in. Lift the shoulders up away from the seat bones. Bring those arms up in front of you, breathing in. On the out breath, down for 8. Slowly. 6. Pushing that lower back down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Head on the floor. Bring those arms all the way over the head, breathing in. On the out breath, lengthen those feet away from the hands. Let the back lift up. On the in breath, pull those shoulders down towards the waist. On the out breath, bring those arms up to the sky. Bring that right knee in, take hold of it. Bring that left knee in, take hold of it. Bring those knees into the chest, let the tailbone lift up and release. Bring those knees into the chest, let the tailbone lift up and release. Put your hands behind your thighs. Bring your knees into your chest. Let those legs come long over your head. Use your hands to pull those legs up so we come into that kind of plow position. Bringing those feet up, stretching through that back. And then release. Let that lower back come back down onto the floor. Hold behind those knees. Let those feet come all the way over. Drawing the core in, put the feet on the ground without straining that lower back. Lengthen those legs out, keeping that core strong. Bring those arms up to the sky, breathing in. On the out breath, chin into the chest, rolling all the way back up for 8, 7, 6. Reach all the way forward to your feet. 4, 3, 2, 1. Sit up nice and tall. Put that right hand on the left knee, left hand behind. Lift that chest up straight. Turn around, look over that right shoulder, that left shoulder. Come all the way back round to the front. Put the left hand on the right knee, right hand behind. Lift that chest up, turn, look all the way over that right shoulder. Come back round to the front. Grab your roller in. Grab your roller in. And we're going to slowly roll. So bend those knees up so the feet are flat on the floor. Put that roller under the bottom rib. So Sandra, we don't roll the roller on that lower back. You could use a ball on your lower back in the muscle, which is like using like a massage, but we tend to just make sure it's a small one, so you're not too high off the ground. So leaning that lower ribs on the roller, hold on to the head, breathing in, breathing out, lengthen that head all the way down to the floor. Pushing the breastbone up, so you're pushing the tailbone down, pushing the breastbone up, letting that head come to the floor. Push that left elbow away from that left leg and then push the right elbow. So we're stretching, we're reaching, pushing the shoulder away from the hip, bring it back to center, bring it back up. So be gentle with that. Move that roller up a little bit. So okay, keeping hold of the head, breathing in. Breathing out, push that breastbone up. Let that head come down, push the tailbone into the floor, feel the even weight under each seat bone or butt cheek, even weight under your feet. Breathing in, lengthen that left side. Push that left elbow towards the door. So when I say elbow, I've got my hands behind my head, I'm pushing that left elbow away towards the top of the mat. I'm going to swing over, I'm going to push that right elbow away towards the top of the mat. I'm going to come back to center. I'm going to bring my chin all the way back up. And then move that roller a little bit more. So you've got to be a bit careful with stretching while we're bent, but bent backwards, but we stretch while we're bent forward. So breathing in, our vertebrae obviously are a bit different shapes. Breathing out on the front to the back. So bending backwards, we've got the spiny processes laying flat on each other. So we're not going to go much further, but we just got to go within the parameters of our stretch and our ability. So stretching that left side, taking that right ear down towards the right hip, pushing that left elbow away, and then come back to straight and tilt the other way, pushing that right elbow, lengthening that right side, and then coming back to the center. Push the breastbone up, head down. Tailbone down, then bring the chin into the chest and bring yourself back up. And maybe do one more. So bring that roller up to the shoulders. Pushing that chest up, let that head drop back. Put those hands under that chin and just give that chin a bit of a stretch, using the roller as another reference point or a resistance point. So just pushing that right side, pushing that left side, push both sides, release that neck, keeping that chest up, push those the seat bones into the floor, lengthening, bring the chin into the chest a bit, push the back of the head on the roller, and then put your hands under the chin and just lengthen. And then release. Take hold of the head in the hands, lift the bum up and roll that roller all the way down to those bottom ribs. All the way down. And then back up for 3, 2, 1. And then back down for 3, 2, 1. Opening over the roller. Stopping with it in that bra strap area. Take those legs out straight. Take those arms out straight. Reach that right hand away. Reach that left hand away. Bring those hands back in. Take hold of the head. Bend those knees back up. Roll that roller all the way to the base of the neck. Lean on that left side. Roll down that left side. Go all the way over. All the way over onto the left. So all the way through those bottom ribs, through that armpit, down again through those bottom ribs, back over onto our back, and then all the way down again onto that right side. And then all the way over onto the right, through those bottom ribs, lengthen that right arm up straight. All the way up, all the way down. And then going back over onto the back. Lengthening. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Okay, pop the bum on the floor. Bring the chin into the chest and lift that head all the way back up. Bring yourself right off that roller, hands on those legs, rolling all the way forward down towards those feet, hands around the feet. Armpits over those knees. Push that tailbone away, push that head away. Bring your body all the way up tall. Move that roller out of the way. Move that roller out of the way for a sec. Roll those shoulders up to the ears, down and back. Bring those arms up. Lower yourself back down to flat. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands over the head. Push those fingers away. Let that spine lift up. Pull those shoulders down towards the waist. Pull that spine down. So in this position, focus on the ribs that are on the floor. So top ribs, middle ribs, bottom ribs. So leave your arms here, or you can bend them in a little bit, but you're basically keeping your shoulders here, which keeps those ribs on the floor. So your ribs are always like that. Now the lower back is dealt with by the pelvis. So let's just take those hands up into the sky, pull the shoulders away from the ears and bring the hands by the side. So feeling the pubic bone with our fingers, feeling the bony bit on the side of our pelvis. Make sure that we're aiming for that to be horizontal. So for now, we're going to flatten that lower back in the floor, which lifts the pubic bone up and sinks these bony bits on the side of our hips. Now you're going to rotate your pelvis or tilt it. So your tailbone goes down, pubic bone goes over. So I'm not pulling with my legs, I'm using my back muscles. Pushing my tailbone in the floor, arching that lower back. My bottom ribs are still on the ground. I don't arch the back by lifting the ribs around. Flatten that waistband in the ground by tilting that pelvis. Pubic bone comes up, bony bits on the side of my pelvis go down. Rotate the other way, push the tailbone into the floor so the pubic bone goes down, bony bits come up. Right, find that middle position where the pubic bone and these bony bits are horizontal to the floor. I did find I was looking for I was in the bag for my massage bed and I had the spirit level in there. I used to take a spirit level to people's houses and actually put it on the pubic bone and on the side here for showing where horizontal was. Okay, so now I've got a small lift off my lower back. My upper ribs are on the floor, so bring my chin into my chest and push the back of the neck towards the floor. Take those hands, leave the elbows where they are, take those hands out sideways. Feel how that turns those shoulder blades into the ground. Now the bottom ribs may have lifted, so I've got to pull those bottom ribs to the floor and I recreate where horizontal is for that pelvis. Okay, the spine needs to stay like that for most of the stuff that we do. So bring those hands back to the pelvis. Now draw that core in like you're stopping yourself having a wee and lift that right leg and bring it up to bend. Push that right leg out to straight, no movement of the pelvis. Bring that right leg up. Don't push off the left leg soft. Push that right leg away. Bring that right leg up. Push that right leg away, rest it there. Drawing in the core, bring that left leg up. So again, no movement of the pelvis, my spine. Right, have you lifted your ribs up? Pull those ribs back down. Put that left leg out straight. Take those hands away, let them drop back in the back of the hand to the floor. Keep those shoulders down, bring that left leg in. So we're squeezing from the inside. Extend that left leg out straight. Bring that left leg in, leave it there. Hold that left knee with the left hand. Bring that right leg in. Make sure those ribs are all on the floor. Make sure that lower back is slightly lifted. Holding that, put your fingers on that pelvis. Is it horizontal again? Okay, taking hold of those knees. Keep that neutral spine. Keep that pelvis. Pull that those knees in towards the chest without losing that shape of that spine. Keep those shoulders down. So we're flexing that hip joint, flexing it. Take that right leg out straight. So we're extending that hip joint. So if we were elevated on the roller or something, we could extend the hip joint further. Holding this left leg, pull that in. Keep that neutral spine. Lengthen that left leg. So Sandra, keeping this neutral spine when you bend forward, when you lift things, that is what's going to prevent you from getting this lower back tightness. The lower back tension comes when the spine bends separately from the pelvis. Bring that left leg over your body. So release in that lower back as you pull this over. So that left shoulder stays on the floor. Eyes go left to keep the left shoulder down. Bringing those ribs. So I'm lifting the ribs under my armpits to face towards the camera. My breastbone comes over, my knee comes over. I stretch through that lower back. This is not a leg, you're not pulling the leg in that hip joint. The leg is turning the hip joint because we're using it as a lever. So you should feel that stretch in the lower back. Breathing in. Breathing out. Now extend that left leg. You can kick that left leg over so it comes straight or straighter. You feel that in the bum. Turning the waist, turning through the back, the body. Feel it coming to the bum a bit more. And then bend that knee back in, and you can get more extension in the body because you've shortened your lever. You've now got the knee on the floor. And then release that leg, go back onto the back. Breathing in, lift the bum up, straighten yourself. Take hold of that left knee, pull it back in, keeping that neutral spine. Now let that neutral spine go, let that back flatten on the floor. And you'll feel the stretch here in the front of this other hip. So you'll feel tension there as you push that right leg away, push the right knee tight, pull the right thigh down to the ground. Take that left leg out straight and bring that right leg in. When you transfer, you're keeping neutral spine. Shoulders are back and down. Make sure that pelvis is horizontal, small lift of that lower back. Pulling that knee in towards the shoulder. Pulling that knee up, flexing that hip. Bring that knee all the way over to the left. Push that right arm away. Keep that right shoulder on the floor. Eyes are looking right because that keeps the shoulders down. Let this rib cage lift up. Let this hip lift over. Let that knee go down to the ground. Feel the stretch through here in the lower back. Pull that knee to the floor. So you can govern where the stretch is here. You can feel it all in your shoulder, or you can bring your breastbone to the sky and you can feel it more in that lower back. You can try and bring the tummy button to the sky and you feel it even more in the lower back. Release the tummy button, release the breastbone, let them face the knee, and you feel it in that arm and in that shoulder. So lift that breastbone up, lift that rib cage up, feel it, stretch it in that lower back, and then extending that right leg out straight. You'll feel it more in the side of the leg, in the glutes. Keep that head across to that right hand, and then bend that right knee, let that right knee go down to the floor more. You'll feel it in that lower back more. And then let the body roll back onto the back. Let that right leg go out straight. Let the arms go over the head. Reaching and stretching. Lengthening. So bring those hands all the way up to the sky. Chin into the chest. And roll yourself all the way up to sitting. Reaching all the way forwards. So we're going to do the hip flexors in the front of the body from the other way up. Bring yourself up nice and tall. Swing your legs around. Come onto all fours. So we can do it on our side. The thing with doing it on your side is you don't have any reference to straight with your body. So push that, and you tend to compress that lower back. So tailbone down, back up, eyes to the knees. And then take that tailbone up. Bring that belly down, bring those eyes up to the sky. So pushing that chest forward, turning the inside of the elbows forward, pulling those knees apart, engage those glutes. Bring yourself onto all fours. So first of all, we just get accustomed to bending at the hip where the leg joins. So we're going to slide backwards, glide back, And let that hip joint bend, let the angle of the knee to the hip change, or the thigh to the hip. Bring that body back up onto all fours. Concertina yourself back. Bending at that hip, pulling those knees apart, come back up onto all fours. So we're flexing that hip. This is like knee hugs, flexing it in. Bringing yourself up. So drawing in that core, slide those hands apart, take them a bit forward to the front of the mat. Lift that chest up and we're going to slide those hips forward to the floor. So the torso stays in neutral, we're bending at that bending at that hip. So if we bend the elbows, we can take the thighs onto the floor. And then if we try to straighten the elbow, keeping the thigh on the floor and not letting that lower back bend, we are extending where the leg goes into the pelvis. So we can just lift ourselves up and down a little bit. And then push ourselves right up, push the bum in the air and lever all the way back through, coming into child pose. So you can let that back round now, bring that chest to the floor. Pulling those knees apart, bring yourself back up onto all fours. Bring those hands back under the shoulders. Keep the bum above the knees. Slide those hands forward and we do that puppy. We stretch through that chest. So we open that upper back and make it much easier to keep our neutral spine, pushing through those armpits. Chin on the floor, forehead on the floor. Pushing those armpits forward, keeping the bum above the knees. Breathing in, pushing those forearms in the ground. Breathing out, push those hands forward a bit, lengthen through that chest. Release the push, walk those hands back so that you come back up onto all fours. Turn that tailbone down, push that back up. Turn that tailbone up, push that belly down. Take those arms apart slightly on the mat, slide them forward a bit. Don't slide them too far actually, because they end up in front of the shoulders, so keep them there. Breathing in. On the out breath, we're going to bring those hips, actually we do need to take the knees back a bit, and we're going to swing those hips all the way through. So we come into that up dog. Turn the inside of the elbows forward. Remember the puppy pose. Open that chest. So Sam, all of you, get your shoulders back. Lift that chest up. Draw that tummy in. So my tummy's really hard. And then I'm going to bend the elbows a bit and come down onto those thighs and the pubic bone. So I'm a straight line from my pubic bone to the top to my breastbone. There's no curve in my lower back. And then I lower my belly down straight. So I come onto those bottom ribs. And then let those hands slide forward and bring that forehead onto the ground. So hopefully you're on the mat. Fingertips are out to the side of the head. Clench the bum. Push the pubic bone in the floor. Breathing in. On the out breath, lift those feet both up off the ground. Tighten those thighs so we're extending those hips. Draw in the tummy and lift the belly off the ground. Lower those legs to the floor. Keep the belly off the ground. Clench the bum, lift those legs up. So we're using the bum. Ease and lower. Clench and lift those legs up off the ground. Push those forearms into the floor and lift that upper body up. So we've got that cobra. We've got that puppy stretch, pushing the chest towards the front of the mat, lengthening through the front of the body. Breathing in. Push those toes evenly away from the top of the head. Feel the shoulder is the same distance each side from the hip. Slide those hands towards your bottom ribs. Breathing in. Keeping those legs there, we're going to pivot on the pubic bone. Breathe out, push off those hands and come onto those thighs. Ease with those arms and come back onto the bottom ribs. Legs come up. So we're pivoting on that pubic bone, rocking on it. Lift and come so those thighs come on the floor. Chest open. Ease and rest on those bottom ribs. Push and come onto those thighs. Straighten the arms and come onto the knees. Tighten the thighs, lift those knees off the floor. pushing the pubic bone towards the floor, pushing the breastbone towards the front of the mat, keeping that core strong so you're protecting the lower back. Drop the knees down, push the bum in the air, and go back into child pose, lengthening. Pushing those hands evenly away from the bum, so pushing the right butt from the right hand, push the left butt from the left hand. Push both tailbones, both seat bones away from both hands. Pulling the knees apart, bring yourselves up onto all fours. Okay, come up onto your knees and put your left foot in front of your knee. So I've got my left foot on the left side of the mat, my right knee's on the right side. So pubic pelvis. My pelvis is at the moment is a bit tilted forward. So I'm going to bring my pubic bone forward, make that pelvis vertical. If I can't do that, take the body back over the knee. So I bring the pubic bone forward. If I look down my front, I can see through my breastbone, tummy button, pubic bone. I don't want you just to see tummy button. That means your pubic bone's disappeared. Pull forward, keep it strong. So keep that line here. Roll those shoulders up to the ears, down and back. Visualize you're pulling the knee to this back knee towards the front heel. So you're tensing the front here, but you're keeping the pubic bone forward. So look down, can you still see your pubic bone? Bring the eyes back to horizontal. Roll those shoulders up to the ears, down and back. Bring that right arm up into the sky, breathing in. On the out breath, keep hold of the tension of the core, but release the leg, pushing that knee down, pushing that hand up. So by pushing that knee down and hand up, you should feel that stretch through this side. Turn around towards the right and you'll feel the stretch come in the front of your hip here. Turn around towards the left and you'll feel it go more into your lower back. Release that arm all the way down to the floor. Put one hand either side of this front foot. Slide that foot forward, straighten that leg. Pull the toes up to the nose. Push the toes away. Pull the toes up. Push them away. Pull them up. Relax them. Put the sole of the foot on the floor, bend the front knee. Glide your body forward and sink your pelvis, your pubic bone down towards that front heel. So you feel the stretch in that front leg. Lengthening through that back hip. Pull that pubic bone down towards that front heel. So you can put the left hand on the left knee if you want. Lift that body up so you're nice and straight, bringing the chest higher. And then push yourself off and come back onto. Right, so come back onto your hands and knees. So we've got our knees under our hips. We've got our hands under our shoulders. And then let's just get that neutral spine. So turn the tailbone down, push the back up, eyes to the knees. Turn the tailbone up, belly down, bring those eyes to the sky. Find that neutral position. And then just glide backwards. So we just get that hip joint working again. Pelvis is horizontal to the floor. Lift yourself back up. Glide yourself backwards. Lift yourself back up. Okay, bring that right foot forward. I have to remember which foot I've done last time. Right foot forward, so the right foot's on the right side of the mat. Left knee is on the left side of the mat. And again, pubic bone or pelvis. Bring that pubic bone forward. Look down your front. Breastbone, tummy button, pubic bone in a nice vertical line. Roll those shoulders up to the ears, down and back. Pull that back knee forward in the floor. Pulling it towards that front leg, tensing that front leg. Breathing in. Bring that left arm up into the sky. Breathing out. Release the tension of that front leg. Push that knee up, that hand up high into the sky. Pushing that left knee down into the floor. Lengthen through this side. Really reaching and stretching. Turn that body round to the left. So you feel the stretch through the front of that hip. Turn the body round to the right. So you feel it come around into the back of the pelvis. You lean the hand over towards the right, you'll feel it stretch a bit more. Release that hand, bring those hands down either side of this front foot. Straighten that front leg out, bring that chest down towards the knee. Legs straight, bring the toes towards the nose. So come down as far as you can with your hands. Ideally, we're trying to keep neutral spine, so pushing that chest forward, trying to keep this back as straight as neutral as we can. Bring the toe to the nose, push the toe away. Bring the toe to the nose, push that toe away. Bring the toe to the nose, keep the tummy button down, and then release, let that foot go flat on the floor. Bring it back a little bit towards those hands. One hand either side of the foot, glide that body forward. Lift that chest up, so I'm stretching through the front of this back leg. Pop the right hand on that right knee. Pull that right knee out to the side and push, lift the body up so the groin is coming forward towards this front heel. Front sole is on the floor. Reaching, stretching. Lengthen through that back hip. Lifting, breathing in. Breathing out. Let yourself go backwards. Take that, let that foot come around. I did not do pigeon last time, no. Hands are under the shoulders, knees are under the hips. Turn the inside of the elbows forward. Have those hands a little bit more forward on the mat. Breathing in. On the out breath, swing those hips through, keeping those shoulders back and down. Swing those hips through. So we're flexing and extending that hip joint. Push off those hands, come back onto all fours, neutral spine, don't do child pose. So flex those hips. So this is bending, except we're bending by moving the leg. So right now we're moving the thigh forward and backwards. So we're now going to slide forward. So the thigh is sloping forwards. Yeah, but we're in neutral spine. We're flexing through, clenching with that bum, shoulders back, Sandra, and then push that bum in the air. So this is bending down and lifting up, but we're just doing it from the other way. So we're bending, we bend at the hip here. So our thigh would be vertical. So at the moment we could be bending over a table, bending over a cot, bending over a sail, bending over anything, pulling those knees apart. And then we clench with the bum. So clench with the bum. And this is what I was talking about with the ball sound. Clench with the bum, push those hips through. So the pubic bone is pushing to the floor. My bum becomes hard and tight. Lifting that chest up, pushing those shoulders, shoulders back, chest forward. So we're standing up tall and straight, clenching with the bum. Now we push the bum in the air, draw the core in, keep that neutral spine, glide that bum back a bit. So we stay in neutral, so my tummy muscles through the lower abdominals and the middle all stay strong. So here, my lower abdominals are strong. Pull those knees apart, gliding forward, clenching with the bum to straighten the pelvis, pushing the head forward, chest through, draw the core in here. Now we've got to keep strong so that we don't extend that stomach and have a compression and an overcurve in the lower back. So clench the bum, that's where it comes from. One more. Push the bum in the air, go all the way back. Gliding all the way back. And now let yourself go into child pose. So let those arms go, let that chest go. Bring those hands back towards the knees. Clench with the bum, lift yourself up. And then walk those feet forward, those knees forward and come and sit on the floor. So same thing, sitting like this, hands behind the legs, lift that chest up, let those thighs lift up, push those knees into the floor. So sitting like this is the same as being on all fours. So if we hold our body up tall, clenching here, bring those arms up horizontal, leaning forward, we're flexing at the hip. Leaning backwards, we're extending at the hip. But we're sitting on the bum, so it's not really doing the clenching. Our tummy muscles are doing all the work. Leaning forward, so no bend. We're coming onto the front bottom. We come back onto the tailbone. Our body stays straight and neutral. So again, this is bending forwards and standing up. Leaning forwards. Bring yourself to straight. Bring those arms all the way up to the sky. Bring those hands all the way up wide. Dust the floor. Bring those hands together. Bring them all the way up into the sky. Bring them all the way up wide. Dust the floor. Bring them all the way up into the sky. Breathing in. Breathing out. Push those hands up tall. Reach those arms out wide. Rest them on your legs and roll your shoulders. Well, jolly good. Sorry about the break in the middle. I'll see if I can splice that together. So yes, it's all about here. Bend, bend, extend without compressing. So Sam, you're giving here. So you're getting a curve there, which is going to cause grief later on.